哇，城市已经变火海了。
Portals in a fountain? Not terribly practical.
It was a secret passage. Henriette and I would use it to
hide from your governess, which luckily she noted down in her diary, thus I knew where to await you. Never mind that. Has the young lady agreed to help clean up the mess she's made?
She has. And stop treating me as if I were a child.
Would you prefer I treated you like the lying that manipulated you are?
Calm down, both of you.
But...
No buts. Let's go. Really want to be done with this.
那他与妹妹的心结有解开来了吗？还说没有啊？依旧恨着他妹妹。
Nice place.
Isn't it? Offers a lovely view of the valley. On a clear day, you can see the outlines of done time.
Is it, though? A ruin like any other, I think.
So sensitive. So...
Perhaps he'll tell you himself.
You nervous?
Mm-hmm. It's always a bit nerve-wracking meeting an egg.
I doubt he'll be in the mood for jests.
I know. May I be honest? Yes, I'm nervous. I really... Yet I owe him this meeting. And that...
Let's get ready. Deadloff will be here any moment now.
Oh, 来了。
Sienna, I have a question I must ask you.
Did you truly feign it all? That which bound us was a ruse?
Deadloff, it's not that simple.
Oh no, it's very simple. You either deceived me or not. In forgiving you, I grieve. For now, we must part.
Huh?
What? But how?
The ribbon?
Ha! Seems I've been fooled again. She will pay for this, sooner or later. She will pay! You never should have meddled with her!
等下怎么了？我有点混乱。他那个绷带有护身符吗？果然还是要大战一场啦，所以说这角色。什么非必要战斗？这战斗不是非必要啊！ 看着他们打就可以了。我操！我干嘛跳入火坑啊？让他们自己去死算。哦，他变身了！哎呦！ 那个鸡变恶魔了。我没有回血的办法。哇，死掉！ 我记得吸血鬼打不败的吧？
Leave him to me. Be gone.
I can't let...
I insist.
我记得没错的话，同类相残是禁忌耶，不能允许的。那会怎样啊？同归于尽？结果迪拉夫这个角色只能用悲惨吧。他始终都一直被他心爱的女人给利用。嘿，49了。
My, what a smashing ensemble! You wear it well.
Shut up. I look like a twit.
The caftan is sewn of the best fabrics available, and according to the best tailoring practices. But one must have a modicum of taste to appreciate this. Even the most exquisite robes cover only deficiencies in beauty, never in refinement.
Rather not bicker about taste. Don't like to. It's neither interesting nor productive.
This particular Witcher has an inborn intolerance for formal occasions. Yet he's to attend just such an event shortly. I expect that's the source of his prickliness. So try not to take things personally, Master Taylor. Rather pity him. For in truth, stage fright overwhelms him. He trembles at the thought that he has no notion how to behave in the presence of Her Grace's Majesty.
As well he should. All that being as it may, Toussaint's highest honor, the Order of Vitis Vinifera, demands appropriate attire. The Duchess cannot be expected to press the medal on a suit of armor caked in mud. Palace protocol places enormous emphasis on form, virtuous tradition, etiquette.
Huh. A tradition which values appearances ahead of all else. Which calls for lordly, glistening triviality and misplaced generosity.
Sound wistful. Pensive, Regis. That because they refuse to buy you a new outfit?
Hardly. It's the tone I ever adopt when I find myself pondering, which, believe it or not, happens quite a lot. Besides, I've no need for a new outfit as I shall not be attending the ceremony.
Why not?
Because unlike you, I don't have to. I shall begin to pack my belongings instead. I trust you'll join me later, once you're richer by a medal and a fascinating new experience?
Count on it. Ceremonies, medals honoring virtues, just...
I've had no reprieve either. And I keep thinking of the last great virtue, compassion. It's the one...
Mean you suddenly believe the 5 virtues theory, after all we've revealed?
It's not a question of belief, superstition, or old wives' tales. It's a conclusion derived through exercising pure logic. Siana planned everything in advance. Had we not stopped her, surely there'd have been a fifth victim. One the gossips would have associated with a lack of compassion.
Her plans don't matter now. Can't act on them. Ask the messenger who delivered my invitation to the ceremony.
这样仔细想的话，啊，第5位是谁啊？
Courtiers pressured the Duchess to lock her in a tower.
我忘记了。
Do you care not a whit who else was in her black book? We've some time before the ceremony. We could still chat with that boot-cleaning urchin. He was the one to pass the victims' names to Detlef. Perhaps we missed something.
好啊。
All in all, why not check up on
事
her?
情还没结束啦，
Assuming we're done.
可能还有后续。
I am done, yes. It lies in your hands now to see if you are able to present my handiwork at the ceremony with the dignity it is due. Or if you will first destroy it, crawling about the city's underbelly.
Promise to be careful.
Oh, it's the swordsman. Good to see you. Here for a spiffing? Dirty boots are a stain on professional dignity, you know. Step on
他
up.
开分店了吗
Need to ask you something.
Yeah.
Guess they could use a spit and polish.
Then I shall take advantage as well. A friend of mine used to say boots should be as clean as the soles that wear them.
Clean
他们已经很干
boots,
净了
clean。souls. A fine slogan.
Man in the frock coat. You passed him some letters, remember?
Why, of course. I'm young, got a mind like a steel trap, but...
If you're about to tell me this information will cost me, forget it. How'd you get those letters?
Beggars brought them.
Why didn't you tell us this before?
You didn't ask about beggars now, did you?
好吧。
Beggars. Tell us more about them. How many were there?
Why, 4. 1 for each letter.
Just 4? Sure you didn't get a 5th?
I can't count, you know.
Remember anything else? These beggars have anything in common?
What? Come now. Each was different. Some had mismatched boots, others had no boots at all. Oh, I know! They all had no home!
Kid, my patience is starting to run a little thin. Now think hard. Where'd they get the letter?
I don't know. They'd come, hand me a letter, and walk away.
Geralt, allow me to ask a question. Listen, lad. I'll be glad to mix another batch of that boot shine for you. But you must
都没有人
focus
讲
now
过
and tell us all you know.
他的脸色好
Where
苍
can we
白哦。
find the beggars?
Well, at the shelter most like.
Where's that?
Everyone knows. It's just round the corner. Up those stairs, then right.
这个臭小鬼好会做生
Thanks,
意哦，各
For
种
your trouble.
情报都有。不过也对啊，这个小朋友
We must visit the shelter.
他为了要生活，也必须要至少会第2种东西。
Greetings, Guardian Witcher.
Can't really see that anything's changed.
All in due time. At the moment, I'm perusing my options. Asking after prices, verifying quality.
My. If you're like this now, who'll you be when you're older?
A very rich man.
可能哦。
Get many...
Droves and... Though I expect to have more. My trade always boom.
Knight's boots get dirtier then?
It's not just the boots. When they fight, they soil all. I shine their armor, helmets, belts. Oh, pardon.
You're...
I would say inquisitive and sociable. Besides, a good tradesman or
Fair enough. Must know a lot about the folk of Beauclair.
all about all, meaning
Potentially...
bah.
Take care.
Come early.
这小弟弟其实蛮聪明的。 弟弟啊，哎，不是啊，那个非必要是哪一个啊？前面的这个吗？收容所。
You? What do you want?
To talk.
Here, that's a waste of breath. We've tried it, only to tire our lips. We'll use other means of persuasion.
Gentlemen, calm, please.
Either get out along with these flea-ridden vagabonds, or we'll toss you all out. Our patience...
Scram! Decent folk live here.
Decent folk you mention. Me.
Why? Do you doubt it?
Hell yes.
Hear that, Artois? He poking insults.
打架吗？
We should step aside, good fellow. My friend is perfectly capable of settling this unfortunate dispute on his own.
Ha!
All right. I can take a hint. Come, time to go.
I thank you so much for your aid. I tried to reason with them, but they'd have beat me blue had you not come along. I'm grateful. Immensely.
What did they want from you?
They are neighbors. Wish me to take my folk, the shelter, elsewhere. They dislike that I help the beggars. I do not oppose going elsewhere were we to have somewhere to go. But you've come with a problem.
Need some information. Looking for a man who might have mentioned the boot black in Rue de Garl.
The boot black? A feisty lad.
Any of your, wards supposed to meet him recently, or
Forgive me. Those I help and I are not so close that I would know. But should you wait, you can question them yourselves.
Thanks. We'll wait. Nice of you to let us.
My dears, I've a matter to address before I serve the soup. These two gentlemen have some questions of you. Pay attention. Answer in brief. For if you draw it out, your soup will go cold. And we wouldn't want that, would we?
Recently, 4 of you delivered sealed letters to the boot black. I know this.
Does anyone know what the gentleman means? Go on, speak up. Romain?
Why should I squeal? We were all told not to mention the letters. We all swore.
You can tell me, Romain. You were given a letter and you delivered it, right? Good work, Romain. Thank you. Who else?
I got one too. Gave it to the boot black. And Freshy, he got one. But he can't tell you, as he's not here.
I still have mine. I'm to deliver it 2 days after the Feast of St. Barnabas.
It's a matter of importance to the Duchy. Hand it over, or I'll take it from you, plain and simple.
But I was to deliver it personally. Let no one else see it. That is what she said, and she was frightening.
You ought to heed folk who are kind and honest. These men helped me a short while ago, helped all of us. If this individual threatened you, you need not keep the promise you made.
All right, take it. I didn't want to see the boot black anyways. It's always muddy there.
内容啊，透露第5位受害者的信。
Damn it.
What is it? Another name, truly?
See for yourself.
Well, well. I must say, even I did not expect this. This time you will see to our Duchessa. It seems we underestimated Sienna grossly.
下一个受害者是女爵啊。
Detlef was literally supposed to tear her heart out.
Yet first you must snap her neck. Puzzling.
Puzzle complete now.
Alas, the matter's ceased to be a tantalizing brain tease and has turned incredibly grave. We've proof of a plot to assassinate Toussaint's ruler.
Duchess was to be Detlef's last victim. Sienna planned it from the start.
Indeed. The logical conclusion, Geralt.
4 seemingly random victims to start. The virtue's their only link. Enough to get folk talking about a righteous, vengeful beast. Obscured the victims' links to Sienna, even as she had those she despised killed off one by one, leaving the Duchess for last.
Had she managed to fulfill her plan, none would have questioned the reasons. Most would have thought Anna Henrietta had died for her sins. She was known to show a hard heart on many occasions. Ample proof of a lack of compassion.
Why would Sienna murder her own sister? Out of envy? To take power? From an inborn penchant for evil?
Yes, yes, and yes. All seem likely, and none are mutually exclusive. But if you'd like to know for certain, you can always ask her yourself.
Actually, love to learn her motives.
Praiseworthy, I suppose. Sometimes one should stare evil in the face.
Seems a bit strong.
She used my friend as her tool for killing. I believe I've every right to condemn her. But I support your lust for the truth. Some philosophers think empirical examination the sole path to knowledge. I believe you mentioned the Duchess keeps Sienna locked up.
Courtiers were insisting on a harsher punishment. Much harsher. Think Anna Henrietta had to protect her sister. One way or another, she's locked away in a secluded wing of the palace, awaiting trial before a court of law. Coming with?
Of course not. I shall await you at Mare la Chaise-Longue. I'll not risk entering the palace after Detlef and his minions rampage. Besides, I vastly prefer the company of a simple mug of mandrake brew to that of the Duchess's vile sister.
好吧。
So, said straight up, it means you...
I've never been fond of categorical statements of that kind, but I admit I could not vouch for my behavior in her presence. She treated Detlef cruelly, caused his death in the end, and now this? Atop all that? No, Geralt. I will not go with you. I will await you at the cemetery.
Halt!
Need to see Sienna, urgently.
In the matter of?
Want to talk to her?
Want to talk? Go see your gran at tea time. Not one locked up on the Duchess's orders. No doing without special
Found some information important to her case. Need an explanation, urgently.
Ah, fine then. You're that witcher who solved the murders, no? Then you've my permission, but only for a few minutes.
Promise to be brief.
The Witcher will speak with the inmate. You can take a momentary break.
As long as it's truly but a moment. Highly irregular, this.
他从童话世界里面被放
Have
出
you
来了
come。to see how I fare? I'm fine, thank you. Artorias' ribbon worked wonders. It's a shame they took it from me.
I know who the 5th victim was supposed to be.
Goodness, you're simply a compulsive snoop. I'm in prison. Detlef is dead. Could you not just drop it?
Sienna, stop pretending you couldn't care less. I know it's an act, and it's really starting to wear. Why'd you want to kill her?
For such an accomplished investigator to ask about the obvious? Come now, Geralt. Why do you think?
Because she turned her back on you, then banished all memory of you?
Bravo, Geralt. Yet another riddle solved, and your sick curiosity sated. Well, what now? Off to share your discovery with Anna Henrietta? Oh, she's no longer in danger, true. But she very well might add a little something to your reward.
Definitely gonna tell her. Not necessarily for the coin, though.
Then why do it at all?
She ought to know. If only 'cause you'll probably try to kill her again if she ever lets you out.
I probably will.
Perhaps, just for a second, you could stop dwelling on all the wrongs folk have done you and forgive her.
Why should I?
For old time's sake. You loved each other once.
Please. I don't know who fed you that rubbish, but...
Read your governess's diary. You played together, were inseparable. Henriette'd get you into trouble sometimes, sure. But there were also times she stood up for you. When you had nightmares, only she could calm you. Time eats away at memories, distorts them. Sometimes we only remember the good. Sometimes only the bad.
If she loved me so, why did she wash her hands off me? Forget me, hmm?
Don't know. But you could just ask her instead of sending monsters after her.
There's nothing she could say to change what she did to me, to justify it.
Maybe. But there's nothing out there to justify what you did to her and all Toussaint. Yet Anna Henrietta hasn't given up on you.
Ugh. You meant what you said in the Land of a Thousand Fables. You really want a happy ending to this story, don't you? Ah, with all of us living happily ever after. Go, Witcher, or they'll give your medal to another. And that would be a shame.
Farewell, Sienna.
他还是想杀他姐姐啊，不是妹妹啦。那我们要把话跟女王讲吗
Commander Dlc would like to see you.
Let's go. Damien.
Geralt, it's about time. Ready for the ceremony?
Got some important information. Anna Henrietta was supposed to be Detloff and Sienna's 5th victim.
You are certain of this?
Completely. Found proof.
Inconceivable. How could she? The murders, the mayhem she brought down on the city, were they not enough? She sought to strike down her own sister, her liege. Traitor. I must alert my men. Enlarge the Duchess's honor guard. Make certain Sylvia Anna is closely watched during the question. I thank you, Witcher, for alerting me, and I appreciate your attentiveness. Let's begin the ceremony. Come with me.
我觉得这个还是要稍微讲一下啊。会有所谓的美满结局吗？这个巫师3，我觉得不太可能会有，不可能两全其美啦，一定会有一个可能会不太好，不可能大家都快乐大结局。像那个迪拉夫就没有快乐大结局，他直接死掉了。
In the guild's name, I beg your assistance, your enlightened highness. Without barrels, production will come to a stop, and it will be the end of us.
You lost them all in the fire.
These are horrible tidings. Oh, we are most dreadfully saddened.
Yes, your enlightened highness all. Once the beasts had clawed their way into the warehouse, the whole place went up in flames.
I shall dispatch a palace guardsman to examine the site of the blaze. If things are, as you say, fitting compensation shall be paid from the ducal treasury.
Thank you, your enlightened highness. Your Grace, Geralt of Rivia has arrived.
My dear subjects, we come now to our next point of business. Of all the duties which fall upon my shoulders, as the ruler of this dominion, this duty is dearest to my heart. For now, we shall award the Order of Vitis Vinifera, Tucson's highest honor.
Geralt of Rivia, Slayer of the Beast of Beauclair, step forth.
We bestow the distinction upon the Witcher, who saved Beauclair from the terrible beast. Such is our desire.
葡萄英雄
May this symbol serve as a reminder to all that the Witcher shall
跟我想
forever
不太一样
remain a friend of Beauclair. In more familiar terms now, I thank you immensely, Geralt. Damien has your reward for you. After all, it was but a contract.
Thank you.
I have a small surprise for you,
200
in addition. I
Oh!
give you more than a
5000
dozen
克啊
barrels of Son Real,
不错哎
a wine normally reserved for the ducal table. The gustatory experience of a lifetime awaits. Are you content?
他是我目前为止给的东西最大方的人嘞。
I am, and truly grateful, Your Grace. Sadly, I'm afraid I have to sour the mood. It's Sienna. She plotted to have you killed, Duchess. Planned to use Detloff. You were to be the beast's 5th victim.
This cannot be true. You're mistaken. You must be.
I have proof.
I do not believe it. In a moment I shall speak to Sienna. Will you assist me? You returned my sister to me, yet what you tell me now I find devastating. I've come to doubt that I can judge her fairly.
我也想啊，可是事实确实如此。
I'm not. In fact, I'd recommend you be particularly careful around her.
You exaggerate, Witcher. She is my sister. I know well how
我
to
十分了解。
If my
帅
presence
哥
will
说
help
这
in
话
the
的人
matter, of course I'll stay.
We shall
你是
now
他姐姐。
question a person implicated in the murders which recently ravaged our fair city of Beauclair. Captain de la Tour, show Sylvia Anna in.
The Witcher will take part in our talk.
The Duchess requested I be present.
You have committed crimes. Grave crimes. Yet you are my sister. And my heart does not allow me to treat you as a common criminal.
等一下讲好了。
Nor does it let me believe you sought my demise. My heart yearns to know you were swayed by the monster Detlaff. You yourself would never stoop so low. Thus I have asked Geralt to advise me, as one impartial. I shall now hear what he has to say.
Bitterness consumes Sienna. She had cause to resent many of the court of Beauclair. I know her reasons, understand them even. But I can't condone the actions she chose to take.
What is he talking about, Sienna? You know exactly what.
他的手一直为什么要往后放？左手是藏什么东西吗？
The throne would then be yours, though I was the elder. The ministers I can understand. They'd hated me since I was a child.
哦，没东西啊，我以为他藏了什么针之类的。
I even understand our parents. I'd always sensed the problem. They simply feared me, for I dared to be free. That fabricated curse, it fell into their laps. A gift from above that brought relief. But you... Your dagger hurt most. You were my Honorietta, damn it. My darling little sister. Now do you understand, Witcher? She betrayed me.
Claim to understand them all? Why'd you come back for revenge? Have them all cut down then?
They deserved my vengeance. They detested me, all of them, as long as I can remember. But Honorietta understood me. Once. She was all I could cling to. Her betrayal hurt the most.
You were children then. You and your sister both had no control over what happened.
You're wrong, Witcher. She had control. Remember, dear sister, the day they banished me from the palace? Of course, I'd had the idea to pelt the Nilfgaardian envoy with fish bladders, which we filled with rancid suet on a lark. And which you set afire at the last, to impress me, I imagine. And I admit, you did. Hit him right in his hideous bald patch. Never laughed so hard in my life. But when it came time to find the culprit, you said not a word. I took all the blame and all the punishment. It's true. I did not stand up for you. I was too afraid. The council was unanimous. They listed all my offenses. My flights from the palace, supposed acts of cruelty, inappropriate friendships. They cast me out, but you, the only one to understand me, you cowered in a corner, lifted not a finger to help. Not before, not after. You never tried to find me.
That's not true. I searched for you. Sent out knights, gathered tidings from without. You did not wish to be found. Since the day you vanished, I have lived with the knowledge that I failed you. I'm sorry, dear sister. Can you forgive me?
没有然后了吗？他们是理解对方了，已经原谅对方了吗？我猜女公爵她之所以派骑士，然后没有被回报，原因可能是骑士也都很讨厌她吧，讨厌席安娜，所以就随便跟她讲哦，我们没找到人之类的。
All in all, best part of the whole ceremony, it was short.
Perhaps for you, as you ducked out early. The others are probably just getting started. The drunkenness never ends in this quaint realm.
Not so fond of Toussaint after all, are we?
Oh, this place is like a strong wine, Geralt. Good in small sips.
Just right.
Credit the local mandrake of the Alrauna diavolis variety for that. The tubers which grow in this area is
fascinating. All I can say is this batch turned out excellent.
Indeed. It might be wise to stockpile some roots for the future. Would you care to accompany me?
现在天这么黑了。
You decide to go root picking now? It's dark out.
Geralt, even were I generously to assume it had simply slipped your mind.
啊，杰洛特不是啊。
And thus need
对，杰洛特有他的搜索
I never
能力啊。
believe you had also forgotten that you likewise have absolutely no trouble seeing in the dark. So.
好，走吧。
If you think, not a problem. I never forget matters of safety and hygiene in alchemy. Here, gloves and a mask. Don them, and you shall be in no danger.
半陀螺用的面具。
This
他说非必要哎。
makes me old.
啊，他姐妹俩就和好了。我以为他会把你杀掉哎之类的。
Dreamy.
Penny for your thoughts. Let me guess. Succubus twins?
No, I was thinking about. Oh, how.
这怎么还有尸体啊？这边。
Now, where'd that bloodsucker go? Won't be easy to track down. He is a vampire after all. Damn it, where'd you go?
Regis!
You need
哎，等下我的武器哎！哦，我没有带武器啊。这有多少只啊？
Those Bruxae, they called you a traitor.
Alas, we've a very simple code of honor, we vampires. So simple you might call it trivial. Either one is with us, unconditionally, regardless of the circumstances, or...
Won't let it go, will they?
They will not. Fortunately, we've another rule, an unwritten one, and just as trivial as the first. It is neatly summarized in the saying, out of sight, out of mind. That is why I must leave Toussaint. For a vastly long time, most like.
Yeah, I get it.
Let us make for my camp. I've an overwhelming desire to have another drink.
吸血鬼不能攻击吸血鬼啊，不然你就会被人家视为叛徒，然后被追杀。
Supreme.
Not much of a connoisseur.
Then it is high time you started your education. After all, the Corvo Bianco vineyard is now yours. By the way, I left a gift for you at your new home.
Thanks. Mind telling me what it is?
A trifle. That will nonetheless be useful should you need mutagens. Incidentally, have you thought about what you do with your prize? Shall you hang your swords over the mantle and take...
Know what? Think I just might. Come on now, don't laugh.
还没有把话说死啊。
tomorrow. But one day I'll want to see what it's like to just wake up every day in my own bed.
我以为杰洛特他退休了。
Sounds so sentimental, my fangs have begun to hurt. Then what? Will you begin writing your memoirs like Dandelion? I can remember a night, not too far from here if I'm not mistaken. We hid in a cave while a blizzard raged all about. Does that sound at all familiar?
How could it not? We just set off to rescue Ciri from Vilgefortz.
Oh, our encounter with Vilgefortz. That is something I do not remember so fondly. But that first stay in Beauclair, far calmer than this one.
Seemed like a land straight out of a fairy tale back then. Its sole problem, cellars too small to accommodate all that wine.
Appearances, Geralt. Appearances, like Mamoons and Dopplers, deceive.
Killed him. Sure wasn't easy, though.
So we shall.
结束了。
We have witnessed, and in fact on several occasions incited, many great and weighty events.
这个血与酒故事内容到这边了。
I believe we deserve a bit of a rest.
That we do.
他干嘛对镜头微笑？干嘛？酒是因为这边出产的美酒嘛，然后血是不是指吸血鬼啊？我是这么认为的啦。
Actually, I'd love to go home.
我先回家一下，我的那个领地在哪里啊？回家。我已经花很多钱去装潢了，应该有变漂亮了吧？怎么觉得跟上次一样啊？我有花钱吗？
I work from dawn to dusk's last light, then give my wife a good long night.
哦，有啦，外观上稍微有点变化啦。
Master Witcher, some unknown individual barged into the residence. I resisted as best I could, but to no avail.
Who is it?
Alas, they did not do me the basic courtesy of introducing themselves.
熟人吗？
What's that smell?
哦，那好漂亮哦！啊！
You look good.
他怎么来啦？
Come. Don't just stand there. I want a hug.
还有他的事啊！
What did you bring?
A Garkin from Angren. I see
You.
it. All by my lonesome.
That why you left Carrera so suddenly? Had no idea where you'd gone. Your note was puzzling. Don't try to find me. Threw me for a loop.
That was silly. It's just that I felt stifled in your shadow. I'd have suffocated had I stayed. So when I read that notice, the contract, when I saw Angren, I knew I had to do it. Alone. Without my nanny.
I'm not your nanny. I believe in you. Like my new house?
The house is lovely, but it could use a bit of work.
Yeah, got plans for it, don't worry. Wanna go outside? Could show you the grounds.
这不错哎，这后面还有这种结尾方式，不会让那个杰洛特一个人在家里，会预留一个我非常喜欢的角色。所以说他出镜率很早了。
What's stopping you?
Actually, not a thing. I slew a Garkin, collected my bounty.
Indeed you do, mademoiselle, as my major domo would say.
You've a butler?
A steward. Name's Barnabas Basil. BB for short, though I don't know if he likes it. He's the one let you in. I'll ask him to bring in some fruit, a beverage. You can spend the rest of the day lying about.
Ah, nothing would make me happier.
Encountered the most charming aspect of being a Witcher yet?
Which aspect is that?
如果耶奈法或者是特利斯他没有来的话，或者是丹德里恩这个人，他们来的话可能会更好了。自己认识的人聚集在一起，感觉就是弄得不一样。
No one's tried to cheat me out of my reward so far.
I'd hoped they'd treat a woman differently.
Geralt, when they treat a woman differently in this world, it hardly ever means better. Quite the opposite.
Being a Witcher anything like you, Matt?
Geralt, I didn't have to imagine anything. Remember, before we parted, we walked a good stretch of the path together.
Journeyman and master, though, not the same thing.
I'm still a long way from mastering anything, but I am trying.
Just passed on what worked for me, or at least tried to.
I was thinking of Eskel and Lambert.
So, no regrets? Choice you made?
Not at all. I'm doing what I ever wanted to do. Being who I wanted to be. I believe that's one definition of happiness.
Engrin, how'd it go? Garcanes can be
That's why I had to lure this one to a place both spacious and empty, where it would have nowhere to hide. I found an abandoned crypt far from any town.
Good choice. Always best to avoid additional casualties, so your foe had nowhere to hide. But the bastard was still damn quick, I bet.
Not as quick as I am. My greater worry was its strength. I was far outclassed there. But a dose of black blood did the trick. We fought a while, I feigned a mistimed dodge and let it drink. The rest was easy.
See you later, Ciri.
Take care of yourself.
他就一直抓一个地方，赖着不走啊。
See you've taken a liking to this.
好吧，那继续看一下啦。
Take care of yourself.
终于有家了。看一下啊、哦，这是我至今为止所收集到的一些资料，哎，都帮你弄好了。还有床哎，等一下，这床。亲爱的杰洛特，我看到一封信息。哦，这是他的礼物啦，他给我礼物。哦，这是仓库。是吗？哦，哦，那个什么。 拍卖场的时候，我可以去购买一些画嘛，然后挂上来。所以说那些画就是未来给这个房子增加一点东西啦，变得更丰富。不过已经够丰富了啦。那这个可以再升级一次吗？我说装潢啦，继续变得更好之类的。你还可以摆武器耶。
Renovations coming along all right, Barnabas Basil?
Superbly, sir. General refurbishment has been completed, and I took the liberty of adding 2 racks, each upon which, in Athenus, the laborers dusting out the cellar have made a most
Huh?
If you say.
探索地窖嘛。
Strange. Something behind this wall, I think.
Huh?
Laboratory. Must have been an alchemist at one time.
炼金。哦，有人这边炼金过啦，是他的实验室。哎，之前有吗？怎么没印象啊？这也是之前被关放尸体的位置吗？现在全都变成了这个了。放酒桶，酿酒。他给我看这个东西嘛。
BB, know anything about the laboratory in the cellar?
A laboratory? Alchemy? I know nothing of it.
It is. It was walled up. Equipment's pretty ancient too, so it must have belonged to someone who lived at Corvo Bianco. Whoever it was sure knew their stuff, though. Got dragon glass vials and flasks, stills, sublimators, then barometers.
Forgive me, sir, but I fear I don't follow.
Just saying, it's top-notch equipment. True masterpieces of craftsmanship for use in alchemy. Brewing a concoction with this stuff versus doing it over an open fire? Well, there's no comparison.
Then I am all the more delighted you discovered it, sir.
Starting to really like this place. Maybe we should keep going. Refer...
As you wish, sir. Shall we see to the house or the ground?
好啊，继续升级吧，升级到最满。
Make the house more functional.
Glad to up.
就先这样子吧，我无法再继续升级了。他需要等待啦，他不能一次给你全部升级完毕。那我再回到西里那个地方，然后告个段落啦，差不多可以稍微结束一下。但这不是结束啦，还有一些支线任务还没有解锁。 我还要再稍微探索一下，这个世界其实很大哎，有些任务跟主线有稍微沾一下边呐，只是因为时间上的问题，所以说我必须要尽快的推主线任务，因为支线通常都比较休闲一点，而且有些太过相同了。总结上来说，血与酒的这个 结局方式我还算满意啦，只可惜迪拉夫这个人他死了，他其实我觉得算蛮可怜啦，比上个十字星那个谁啊欧吉尔德还惨。他被自己的爱人所骗了，就杀了他的朋友， 结果再被自己朋友杀死，算比较惨的一个人物了。但我猜想，这应该也是这个巫师3里面的一个故事的核心吧，感觉啦。我觉得巫师这个系列的结局方式比较偏向于那一种，你没办法两全其美啦，一定会有一个角色的故事会稍微比较惨一点。但如果只牺牲他一个人的话，就可以换所有的人的一个美好结局，我觉得算比较值得的啦。至少死得有点意义吧。那他的那个好友，杀死他的那个好友，可能就要被追杀一辈子，逃跑。所以说他现在已经不在陶森特了。然后西里他居然会过来，我觉得蛮稀奇的。我以为他已经旅行到不会回家了。然后这个官尾 BOSS 其实我觉得有点强迪亚夫这个吸血鬼的进化，我觉得有点强大。我觉得可能是因为我没有回血道具了啦，所以说打起来有点吃力了。然后它有一个场景很有意思的，就是可以进入童话世界。你可以把母子姑娘踩死，然后会目睹看到那个长发公主上吊自杀，还有大野狼。这个扭曲的童话故事方式我还蛮喜欢的。那这个血与酒这个的结局啦，我记得有很多种嘛。例如说迪加夫可能会活下来，要不然就是女公爵还有那个她姐姐可能都会死啊，双方一起死。我记得有这个结局嘛。那可能也，我现在是要选很多选项我没印象了，忘记了。陶森特公国这个地方其实跟北方的一些地方都很不一样怎么讲？鲜艳吧。北方那些国家我觉得好乱就是到处都在打仗，然后只有这边是属于世外桃源。可能我不知道为什么就是会有这种想法，可能他们跟那个大地可能搞好关系了吧，又或者是他们的骑士信仰啦。那下一次的话，我会现在玩一些支线任务的内容，看能不能跟主线有点关系啦。那就先在这边告一段落了。